Yeah, there is this strong confidence in the Chinese culture that the Chinese people have. The countries I've been to before, mainly in Southeast Asia, South Asia, and also one couple of years in the Middle East, in Iraq, may not be so confident about their own culture. They're probably more influenced by Western and Chinese culture. It's the biggest place in the world after Denmark for H.C. Andersen, I think.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. And that is interesting. I'm teasing somebody who is saying, oh yeah, Denmark, H.C. Andersen, yes, but we have other things up. We've been updated since I'm trying to, I always say to my colleagues, my job is to try to update the Chinese people's knowledge about Denmark, because H.C. Andersen is the only thing.
大家好，今天要分享的是前丹麦驻上海总领事米凯尔·温瑟一段访谈的节选。温瑟2022年到2025年在上海履职，他以其亲民、务实、富有创新精神的风格而闻名。他在任的3年是中丹关系，特别是丹麦与中国华东地区关系蓬勃发展的高光时刻。温瑟大力推动经贸与投资，助力丹麦企业深耕中国市场，积极推动丹麦的绿色科技与中国的双碳目标对接，积极促进两国的人文与文化交流，例如上海的乐高乐园、安徒生童话展、丹麦音乐节、电影周等等，他都是积极的推手。作为网红外交官，温瑟总领事是社交媒体上的活跃分子，尤其擅长使用微信和领英。他通过个人账号分享工作生活，与中国民众进行直接平等的互动，打破了传统外交官的刻板印象，塑造了丹麦开放、现代、积极的国家形象。今年8月1日，他调任丹麦驻韩国大使。这段采访中，他谈到他眼中的中国和中国人。我们来看看他是怎么说的。
First off, I just want to ask you, you've been here in Shanghai since late 2022. What have your been impressions of China or Shanghai? Has anything surprised you, been unexpected?
Yeah, I was not surprised that Shanghai is such an international city full of art, full of life, full of everything that can give you pleasure in life. Being a diplomat living in a city like this, there's catering for all tastes, basically. So that was not a surprise. I was very surprised how progressive the city is in terms of quality of living.
Right.
I'm a devoted bicycler. I'm not a racing biker, but I'm a hobby bicyclist. I love exploring cities. And it's almost like being in Denmark, the probably number 1 or 2 or 3 bicycle countries in the world. And Shanghai is up there where I think they can compete. Bicycle lanes, of course, a lot of challenges, and not all great car drivers helping out, but basically compared to other places I've been to, and that makes it such fun. The other thing I want to mention are the people. Although Shanghai has a reputation, maybe a little bit like New York City, everybody's busy, everybody has places to go, but it's still leave room for friendliness and consideration. And people are just basically seriously friendly people here. That was, I wouldn't say a surprise, but it was a pleasant experience from the day one. And that's for people from all layers.
Right. Well, I mean, I think the impressions we get abroad are that Chinese are not so friendly, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically in my own country, the media coverage of China is not so nuanced. There's not so much you could call people stories. There's more about government, politics, conflicts, economy, and it's not all that fantastically positive. So you have to really get here to get another side of both Shanghai, but China in general.
Yeah, we've both been here a long time, and I think Chinese people are curious about the world, and China's a big place, and they're interested in what's going on outside China. In terms of Chinese culture and society, I mean, are there things about China that have kind of like left a deep impression on you in this time?
Yeah, there's this strong confidence in the Chinese culture that the Chinese people have. The countries I've been to before, mainly in Southeast Asia, South Asia, and also one couple of years in the Middle East, in Iraq, may not be so confident about their own culture. They're probably more influenced by Western and Chinese culture, where I can really see that China is very rightly so proud of a very long, rich history. The language, which I'm still trying to learn, I do speak other Asian languages at conversational level, not working level. And I'm still, part of my experience when I live as a diplomat in a country is really to try to get some knowledge of the language. And I'm still learning Chinese. And it's just very rewarding to get behind a language that is supposedly one of the most complex languages to learn. The nuances and the humor in it too, which is also part of getting to know people and languages and cultures, I think.
Sure. Yeah, Chinese are very confident. I think this is, big countries are that way. I mean, I think you could say confident, you could say, very knowledgeable of its history, or even arrogant sometimes. I mean, America or Russia are also big countries that think others should know about it. I'm kind of curious also too, you have deep experience in Southeast Asia. How do you compare the cultures of Southeast Asia and China in your impressions?
I think China, as I said, they're more confident, and you can see now. I look back I spent 9 years in Thailand and 4 years in Vietnam, and both those countries have strong cultures and very strong identity, but they're also very influenced through history in different phases of Chinese culture. That's much clearer to me now, let alone, of course, there's a lot of Chinese, ethnic Chinese living in Southeast Asia. And they make a mark there, but they also mix very well, and they influence in a way historically, but also at present. And that, of course, is interesting for me to come to that motherland of that culture that is so strong and colors so many countries in this region. Japan is a bit the same, but I haven't lived in Japan. I visited a couple of times, where you really can see that this is something that fills the world and has true history. So that comparison is obvious, that you really here have something that goes back 1,000 years, and you can sense it.
I had the same impression when I was in China. You feel the deep soul of this country. That you feel it's a very old culture. In Japan, it's exactly the same. The difference, I think, because in China they're pragmatic and still want to they want to learn from the world. Obviously, very pragmatic, want to see things, stuff.
Yes.
Japanese are even more confident in their own belief, I would say. And I think also Southeast Asia, probably in Thailand, which is also very old culture, there's lack of that. I mean, less of that self-belief. But when you lived in Thailand, what would you say? I always thought, in my opinion, I've been to Thailand many times on holiday, never lived there. I would think Thai people were very friendly, more friendly than Chinese, in my opinion, actually. But you say the opposite.
I don't say that Thais are less friendly, but they are very, you can say, tourist friendly. Is a more service type of both industry. People are very much employed in the service, and tourists are meeting those people, most of them that are employed in the service industry, and they're very sweet and nice, and everybody loves them. But sometimes that friendliness is maybe not so deeply rooted. I think there's a little bit of more genuine culture here, where Chinese people are maybe more like Danish people. We are also friendly, but we are not so big, smiling friendly, and everything goes. We're more like a bit reserved, but when you get to know each other, then we are loyal and trustful and all that. So I think Thailand more than Vietnam is a little bit more like Chinese, but they are not as curious, I think, as the Chinese are. As you mentioned, Chinese people really are curious about the world.
Right.
And I have a sense, honestly, that the Chinese people are also quite trustworthy. They trust each other quite. I don't feel a lot of skepticism or, hey, you pay before you do this and that. There's a basic trust. And I forgot my mobile phone or other items, and they just run after me to give it to me. Both foreigners, both people who work in a place where I was, or other Chinese people.
Right.
I look at that as a trust and a confidence in each other. We help each other.
Yeah, whether China is, got a high trust or not is kind of a tangled topic in a way, because who is it? Is it your friends and networks?
Yeah.
Is it strangers? You'd mentioned people, returning lost items. That's definitely strangers. If you look at the polling data, if you ask Chinese, you have confidence in the government. Actually, it's quite high. Other measures, it's a little lower. We mentioned this on a different program, but networks and guanxi are very important in China. So there's a great loyalty, and if you know each other, if you have a relationship, definitely there's a strong trustworthiness.
Yeah. And I observe that in Thailand and Vietnam too. Their family is a thing, and that is usually in countries where the overall trust is not so high, because you have to trust somebody, and that to function, and that would be your closest family.
Yeah.
Then you have in some countries where you trust somebody who went to the same university as you. Then you have already some goodwill built there, or you are from the same town.
Right.
There's some interesting phenomena that create that trusting each other, and that may replace what I would call basic trust in governments.
Yeah.
I want to go back a bit on the let's say the Chinese confidence in their own country, or whatever it is. The few Danish people I know, they tell me Danish salt is the best in the world. Danish furniture is the best in the world. In Denmark, apparently, they're really proud of what they have. Chinese would never say we have the best in the world, although they have really good stuff. But they would never say that.
Never.
Well, what's the difference there, actually? What do you think?
It's true. People are teasing me. I'm the consul general of Denmark, so my job is to promote everything Danish.
Of course.
And I think I'm the right person to it, because I also have that annoying habit of always talking about how fantastic Denmark is.
So it's
And my wife is saying, yeah, right, we know. And I sometimes take myself, what is it? Because it's true, Danish people get so flattered if somebody, for example, Americans or Chinese, big countries, they know about us, or they know Maersk,
Right.
or they know the Danish furniture, or they know Carlsberg beer, or they know Novo Nordisk that makes this,
Medicine.
I think it's because we are an underdog. I mean, you are an underdog when you're a tiny country. We have 5.5 million people. And if we can make just a tiny impact somewhere and get to be known by people, I think it's a inferiority complex, underdog feeling, because we're surrounded by strong, big countries. Our allies are the US and UK and big European countries. They are also our economic partners, China included. So we're always small. So I guess that both develop create incentives to do something you need to do to survive. We're not like Norway that is very resource rich with oil and gas. We have to do everything by trading and producing and using something up here. And I think that makes us maybe overconfident, or almost bragging about our abilities.
Yeah. If you meet the average Chinese on the street, like I'm in Belgium from Denmark, what are the 5 things, if you say I'm from Denmark, what are the 5 things they would associate Denmark with? The average Joe on the street.
The average Joe, yeah. I wish I could speak Chinese, because I'm not able to have many of these conversations that I have in the other countries where I could speak to what I would call Joe on the street. I still not there yet. And I don't, when I say to people in restaurants or in a nail shop or places where I can have a little conversation while they're servicing they don't know much about Denmark, to be honest. So I still have a job to do.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Because people don't know the Danish companies. Of course, everybody knows Maersk lines. If you are
in that business,
and you see the containers, but we don't make products like Italy and France that are known, like Gucci bags or Belgian chocolate. We are not specializing. We're just, people know Lego.
Yes.
That's the
Right.
second richest, most successful company in Denmark. That, of course, is very, very well known by Chinese people. But there's one thing that the school kids and the more educated Chinese knows. That is H.C. Andersen.
A.C. Andersen?
H.C. Andersen is the storyteller, the fairy tale, the Little Mermaid, and all those.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I'm a bit embarrassed. I don't know, but
No,
I remember
but,
now.
but you can ask Chinese if they know
They
H.C.
know.
Andersen. That's full of H.C. Andersen.
And they
that is a big surprise for me.
And they would know, of course, Little Mermaid.
They know
Go with
all
it.
they've been taught.
Yeah.
There are researchers, professors are specializing in H.C. Andersen in China. It's the biggest place in the world after Denmark for H.C. Andersen, I think.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. And that is interesting. I'm teasing somebody who is saying, oh yeah, Denmark, H.C. Andersen, yes, but we have other things up. We've been updated since I'm trying to, I always say to my colleagues, my job is to try to update the Chinese people's knowledge about Denmark, because H.C. Andersen is the only thing. And although I'm very happy about that, because he is a big influence on Danish mentality, he's a very critical person. He's developing these advice for life.
Yep.
He's very sarcastic, satirical, and critical about hypocrisy and all that. And his stories are about that, vanity and that.
Yep.
So it's a good thing that people connect that with Denmark, because he's a smart person. But of course, we can't make that much money out of that. We want to sell products.
Well, I expect not a few people back in Denmark will be looking at this video. So I'd like to give you a chance to say anything you want to the folks back home about China, your experience here, or Denmark and China.
Yeah, I just want to encourage my Danish friends, both in Denmark and everywhere else, to come to China and see what it is, because there is less information in Denmark about China. And as we talked about, it's not all so nuanced. And I really want to encourage my Danish people to come and see for themselves. And of course, I would like them to come to Shanghai, because that's a city I know well. And it's just a very exciting place to come for any purpose that you will have. Also tourism. And I wish it can be put a little bit more back on the map of destinations, because it deserves it.
It can only be a good thing. I mean, the more engagement, the more people meet each other, the better for the world, the better for China's relations with the world. So,
I believe so.
yeah,
And we need to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Because there's certainly disagreements of things, and people have perceptions, and some of these perceptions are justified. Also negative ones.
Yeah.
But everyone deserves to experience it in reality, and definitely meet people.